Well, my name's Daniel Houghton. I'm manager of TerraEx. TerraEx has been in business since 2001. Formerly my boss is Mike France's father's company. We're a medium-sized civil construction company in St. John, New Brunswick. Our major work that we do would be municipal infrastructure for St. John and the surrounding communities, and commercial site development. So as a result, we have gear that ranges from a 301.5 to 336 and everything in between. So for TerraEx, what's important when we're deciding to buy a machine are fuel consumption, power, and finance rates. So those would be our three biggest factors. So just because one machine's more expensive than another, when it comes down to all factors over the lifetime of that machine, those all need to be considered, and those three things make up the biggest difference. So those would be the three biggest factors when deciding to purchase a machine. We use Caterpillar technology to help with our business day to day. Like, I use VisionLink every single day, and we find it really beneficial to know where the equipment is, how many hours are on it, how many hours were worked. One of the really big advantages that we find is we're able to check to find out if the machines are actually being used on a site. Oftentimes we'll call a foreman up, get you can't take that, I'm using it answer, and we find by going on VisionLink we're able to verify that. And so sometimes we'll check before we even call them to say, you know, we're short, we need another machine over on this other job. What do you got that's available? And we'll be able to kind of fact check them before they even answer. So hopefully we don't have to veto them and they offer the machine up, but this is a good way to double check to find out if they're utilizing all the equipment they have full time, and we can make a decision based on the big picture of the company and what the priorities are. So definitely information. The amount of information that's available at your fingertips is amazing. And it's available on your cell phone, your computer. And before VisionLink, we would have no idea, and it's sad to admit, sometimes even where our gear was. So this is the biggest difference is information readily available. You can use it when managing multiple jobs. You can use it when bidding jobs. We can check fuel consumption. We can get fault codes to our phones. And so we're operating with a lot more information rather than assumptions. And that makes a huge difference every day, because it takes the guesswork out of it. And I find it's definitely we're much better at managing our fleet this way than we were without it. We use fuel burn most often when we're bidding work. We're able to go online, check what the recent fuel consumption is over the last 200 or 300 or 1,000 hours, for example, and then use that as liters per hour on the machine, and then apply that to however many hours we're going to be bidding the work with. So if we're doing a job that's going to be 500 hours, instead of making a guess before on, okay, that machine's going to burn X amount of liters, now we can go to that exact machine, figure out exactly how much fuel burned over the last 200 hours, and apply that rate to the proposed bid. So it allows us to get down and either be very accurate with what our fuel consumption should be on the next job. So maybe that wins you the job, maybe it loses you the job, but at least we're right. So fault codes is an awesome addition to VisionLink, because it allows you to know what's going on with your gear from anywhere you have cell phone service. So if I'm off on vacation, I can still get alerts to my phone that says there's a plug fuel filter on this job site. I also get alerts if machines are being moved. So when we set up boundaries for different jobs, if a machine goes from job 1 to job 2, as soon as it leaves the boundary of job 1, I get a notification that says it's being moved. So that allows us to keep track of when things are being moved, and if somebody's borrowing a machine on the weekend and they didn't ask, we're able to tell where the gear is at all times. So, and it's available all the time. So it emails you or text messages you what's going on, and so we're able to take that information. Again, it's fact. We know what's going on, and we're able to react a lot quicker. Where the old-fashioned way would be, a plug fuel filter comes up, maybe the operator ignores it the first 5 or 6 times, until the machine starts derating its power, and then they call and ask for a new fuel filter. This way, we see the first time the alert comes up, we order a new fuel filter, and before the machine gets to that stage, we're able to replace it. So it takes a little bit of the human element out of it from the operator to the manager standpoint. Like, we're able to see what the operator sees every day. So Atlantic Cat is who we prefer to work with because we're comfortable with their staff, we're comfortable with their level of service, and the experience is there to get a good job done, and it's under warranty, which is big for us. So when we're faced with the decision of whether or not to do work with Cat or without, we always go to Cat because we know they have our back in the future. If anything were to come up, they go above and beyond what's expected typically to make sure at the end of the day we're happy with what service we're getting.